Hello and welcome to another update video about MATIC. MATIC formed here this potential 1-2 setup. You know about it if you followed the updates previously. And obviously this wave 2 could be complete, right? It's we've already seen this very strong correction. The wave 1 was a 5-wave move. It topped in December, end of December. And the wave 2 correction, which we can see as a wave 2 of that wave degree, is valid as long as we are holding above the 49-cent level. The 49-cent level is the beginning of yellow wave 1, and by definition a wave 2 must not break below the beginning of the wave 1, so that's the invalidation line. However, you know that the wave 2 went down too low to be really reliable, so it's questionable if this 49-cent level will hold. I wouldn't rely on it. However, we have an alternative wave count, which is also bullish, but is obviously, a larger wave degree wave 2, right? So the idea at the moment, if we go to the daily chart, is that we can see this structure, which basically developed since the June low 2022. It's a sideways structure only, unfortunately. It's a 1-2. It's a first 1-2 setup, which would result in a third wave, 4 and 5. And this is the first 1-2 setup, and the other one is another 1-2, which is happening within the larger third wave. But the problem is, if we break below the 49-cent level, this initial 1-2 setup will have to be unfolding still, okay? That's not great, because it means that the bulls have failed to rally directly, which usually indicates some weakness, and it means that we have to be on the side of caution with this chart. It basically, let's say, it hasn't really followed through yet. Below 49 cents, there's no wiggle room left. It has to be, the interpretation then has to be that at least this wave 2 is still unfolding, already indicated here by alternative wave 2 labeling, but maybe something more bearish even. Maybe something more bearish. For example, it's possible that this is some kind of a triangle that's unfolding. There are many other options, but I think the best approach is, because we are overall in a, well, at least potentially bullish market, to track bullish structures, but then define the relevant support levels and invalidation points, but also track the microstructures to understand when we see the first signal of an upside reversal. And so far, I can tell you we have not yet seen that signal of an upside reversal. I've been tracking the microstructure now for a very long time, and especially in this correction, there hasn't been, especially since the March high, there hasn't been a single attempt to rally impulsively. Now, MATIC is trying again. We talked about it in the last video, that we can identify a full wave count to the downside. Well, that doesn't mean we have to turn around. At least we can be watching for it. I mentioned to you that we're dealing here with something that looks a little bit like a triangle, and that it could be an internal B-wave triangle, or maybe even a 1-2 setup, and a diagonal is unfolding to the upside in the yellow count. And yeah, it's indeed breaking to the upside. Of course, I cannot promise you that we get to these upside targets, but maybe MATIC will at least get to this trend line. What is important, if we, to confirm really that this wave 2 has bottomed, is we need to see a 5-wave pattern to the upside, which means we have the wave 1 already, the wave 2. This here would now be a third wave, but it would need to reach 65 cents for me to believe that this is actually a third wave. And then we need to get the 4 and 5, and the 5th wave needs to reach 67.5 cents. That's really what we need to see, a so-called 1-2 setup, followed by waves 3, 4, 5. If we get these 5 waves of that wave degree, that would be the first solid confirmation that we've bottomed. We would then, in the same process, also apparently break out of this trend line, and we have 5 waves. If we get the 5 waves, then we have the first confirmation that we've bottomed, and we have something to work with. We can add the next support zone for the subsequent 3-wave pullback, for example. A, B, C. 5 waves up, 3 waves down. But you see, there is still a long way to go for the bulls, a long way. And the risk is this could easily fail after 3 waves. For example, if this is just an ABC structure, the C wave might get rejected at the trend line. So it's not a done deal that we form these 5 waves. There's a long way to go. There's a lot to prove. I'm skeptical about it because MATIC already retraced, well, quite dramatically. It's very close to the invalidation point. But as you know, getting in close to an invalidation point, it is potentially interesting because you know immediately when you're wrong. That's great because you can set a stop very, very tight, which is not the case, somewhere up here when we come down. The invalidation point is down here. You're far away from it. So while probabilities of upside, direct upside follow through are lower down here, the risk is lower as well. Yeah, because the stop can be quite tight. So what do we need to see? Okay, next we need to see a break above the wave 1 high, highlighted in yellow here at 59.8 cents. A break above the trend line. The third wave needs to reach 65 cents basically, and the fifth wave needs to reach 67.5. If we don't even get there, we have no confirmation of low, but it's definitely something I'm tracking. First indication that this is failing would be a break below the last low here at 54.3 cents. That's my update about MATIC. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.